Hello, and thank you so much for giving me your time. And welcome to Breaking Barriers, a podcast where we discuss about sports and we discuss about women's sports in particular. And a great pleasure to have you, Mr. Saji Prabhakaran. You've just come back from Australia. I think the world has seen fantastic Women World Cup. And my first question to you is, what is your first takeaway from the World Cup? You were there at the historic moment in Sydney.
It's my pleasure to join you for today's podcast. It's been a fantastic World Cup in every angle. There is completely transformed the women's football across the globe, and this World Cup caused that this women's football is the fastest growing women's sports in the world.
Right.
And the host, New Zealand, Australia, the whole country received the World Cup like never before. And
Hmm.
in Australia, it was the match between Australia and England. That semi-final was the record
Yes.
in their history
Yes. It
because
attracted so
that
much of football players. I mean, football lovers in the stadium. I mean, the attendance was amazing. I think nobody expected so much of attendance in the stadium, isn't it?
absolutely. See, not only the attendance, how the whole country uh, kind of put every effort behind
Hmm.
the World Cup,
Hmm.
and it was like the biggest television program in the
Yes.
history
Yes.
of Australia, and there and the women's football receiving that kind of attention, nobody would have thought before
Yes.
the
Yes.
start of the World Cup, and
Yes.
that way we have a lot to learn from this success because there were teams like Morocco, Jamaica, even Nigeria, all doing exceptionally well, and and those established teams like USA, Germany, they could not achieve as things as per their expectation. I know that also indicates reflects that the gap is narrowing,
Hmm.
and we in India have to really put a lot of effort and encourage our girls to play, come to the pitch more and more,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
we are greatly inspired by being there,
What was
and
your personal experience? I mean, not just as someone associated with the with the Football Federation of India. As a football lover, I mean, what were your personal opinion on the entire football Women World Cup?
my personal experience has been fabulous. I can say because it was like the whole environment around the stadium in the country was like a men's World Cup.
Hmm.
Yeah, that
Hmm.
is quite encouraging
Hmm.
for women's football and for women's sports, and getting a capacity crowd consistently, and then also on the commercial side, FIFA made 560 plus million, and that way for the first time it was like broke even break even in terms of the revenue and the cost.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yes,
So,
and
so what can we? Yes, yes. Please continue.
yeah, and that way, see the viewership. Every side is digital engagement, commercial aspect,
Hmm.
and then there were like merchandising. There were
Yes.
teams like the jerseys were made, the merchandising product were made, the replica were made for women's sizes,
Hmm. Hmm.
but there were a lot of demands from the men,
Hmm.
from the and that was also a lot of surprises that there is a great demand, and then there were many children coming to the stadium, all that.
Yeah.
So
What
that's
is
a,
your what is your biggest takeaway from the Australia and the New Zealand
no,
Cricket
Australia. The that
World
is
Cup?
that the biggest takeaway is that the women's football, we can really make big, and it's we need to we are encouraged, big way to
Hmm.
take women's football forward, and we see that India can really grow fast in
Yes,
women's football.
one of my personal experience when I visited Australia a couple of times and, interacting with their local football teams, their coaches. When I say I'm from India, the first thing that comes to their mind is, okay, are you from the northeastern part of India? Because there's so much of football potential. They've heard about, Lajong FC. They've heard about, Mizoram. They have heard a lot about these, Indian footballers who are doing very well in, the northeastern footballers, men, women, doing so well. So, what is your focus now? How are you going to take forward the football? If I say the homework that you have done along with your team to, kind of, especially when it comes to women, how do you want to take them forward? How do you want to encourage the grassroots level women, young women, to take up football and, really carve a niche in the field?
See, we have already made our plans as per our strategic roadmap Vision 2047, and we are in the process of implementation stage by stage, and we have taken multiple decisions, restructured our league, and also we are trying to impact the grassroots where more girls can play, and therefore we need strategic partnership for to enlarge the playing base, and that is where we are working. And we have the biggest takeaway from there is the whole encouragement motivation to put all our effort energy into women's football, in parallel as we put in the men's football. So therefore, we can expect a lot, but at the same time, we need to do a lot of collaboration, and we would
Hmm.
require a lot of support. And that
Hmm.
way, we are very hopeful that more organizations will come forward to support women's football
Hmm.
because it requires the investment and that level of support. So where we are very confident this will happen in India,
Yeah,
and we will take it
we'd
forward.
like to
And
call them the blue
and
tigress, like you rightly
yes,
said.
yes, absolutely,
Our
absolutely, and
tigresses need a lot of support, not only from from the federation, but in the society. And
absolutely,
people need to accept them that yes, these are the future stars. So, what
absolutely.
can be expected in the from the Asian Games? Because the
No,
blue
the
tigresses have,
team has prepared well, and we
yes.
are quite hopeful that they will move to the next round and to play quarterfinal level because they were very confident. I met them just 2 days back in Odisha, and today they are just flying off from Delhi,
Hmm.
and they are confident. They are fitter than before. They are motivated. And the coach is also confident that we can expect something good from them. Yeah,
Um, where is that one area where I think you have had a word with the coach and the management of the team, where there is a need to kind of look into it? Like you said, they look very fit now. They're confident, and that's very important. These two elements. But what is the other areas where you think the team management really needs to focus on?
no, see, there is not nothing that this stage. The coach knows, best where the focus is, where you need to focus. We just give them the encouragement
Hmm.
and motivate them. Yeah, that's what we can do right now because and what we have to see, we have to focus more at the younger age youth players. For so that we are going forward. We are going to be well prepared in every angle. Yeah, because there are a lot of gaps in our system because it is not that you can change everything
Overnight,
within
yes,
few
yes.
months.
It
Yeah,
definitely needs
it
time. Yes,
requires, yeah, it needs
yeah.
time. It needs a lot of support. It needs a teamwork, and then and the country like India is big,
Hmm.
which is also one of the challenge. But then when people join hands, things can be easier. Therefore, we expect a lot of support coming for women's football going forward, and definitely our girls are motivated. They are putting their best. We need to support them. We need to encourage them. We need to handle them, and that way they will be motivated, and more girls will be encouraged to be part of football.
What is your message to people, football lovers who are listening to this conversation of your idea of what your takeaway was? How do you want to see women's cricket in India, and how do you want to take this forward? What is your message to those people who are really listening our conversation right now?
Uh, See, my simple message is that come forward and support women's football, and let's your daughter, sister, play football, and that way, we will be able to create a very encouraging environment for football, and more women to be part of the game. And it should not be the thought that girls cannot play football. Girls can play as equal as boys.
Hmm.
What we need is to encourage them, provide the right support at the right time, and that way we can create an environment whereby our girls will achieve greater success and make India proud.
Rightly said, right support at the right time. So let's hope in the days to come we shall be seeing our blue tigresses and the sheep are moving forward, just like Sunil Chetri leading our men team and being an inspiration for millions of people. And let's hope that we get to see something, a very good positive change in the near future, and let all these young women take up the sport and be proud of what they're doing. On that note, Mr. Prabhakaran, thank you so much for joining me and giving us your thought. I really appreciate. I know you are extremely busy these days, having conversations maybe in Odisha and the other states and the stakeholders. I appreciate your giving me those time.
Thank you.